People from long ago have always wondered how to draw items looking like they're going back into space. As you're looking at some of these images, these are all images of one point perspective. Lines that have a horizon line, a vanishing point, and orthogonal lines that go back to that vanishing point. As we take a look at some of these simple shapes, geometric shapes, you can see how they look like they're 3D. The two-dimensional shape starts to look like a three-dimensional form. Beginning with the end in mind, let's get started on our one-point perspective. Let's begin by drawing. When you get your piece of paper, begin by drawing a horizon line, the line that separates sky from ground. Add a vanishing point in the center. When you've drawn those two things, I want you to add some geometric shapes going around your horizon line and vanishing point. You'll notice some of the shapes are above the vanishing point, some of the shapes are below. You'll notice for my star, I drew very lightly in pencil, and then I'm using my ruler to really make some sharp edges, and that's how I began my star. Drawing light till I had it right, and drawing that like you saw. Now that I have some geometric shapes on my paper, let's have them converge back to the vanishing point. These are called orthogonal lines. They go from the edges of my shapes to the vanishing point. You'll notice that the corners all go to the vanishing point. In an object or shape like a circle, I use the very edge of it to go to the vanishing point. These help my objects look like they're going back into space. Let's go on to the next step of outlining with black. I'm just going to go ahead and take a black marker, whether it's a Sharpie or a regular Crayola marker, and go over all my pencil lines that I've created. I really like the way this looks and I really want it to stand out. I don't need to erase anymore, so I really want to outline my overall design. Now, I felt like my space was still a little bit open or too plain in these sections, so I went ahead and I drew two more shapes just to fill up the space. I like the way this looks a lot better, and I think it's going to be a little bit easier when I start to cut out my shapes. I'll again outline this in black and then move on to my next step. When you go into coloring your project today, feel free to use any materials that you want. This project, I'm just using crayons and markers to do my project. Feel free to use the materials that you would like. If you prefer oil pastels or colored pencils, you're more than welcome to use that as well. The thing that I wanted to teach you today, though, is how to make these objects look even more like they're going back into space. So when you have your color of your object, you'll also color it in and fill it in with that color, that lines that are going back to the vanishing point. Once you've colored it in, please add another color to it. Please don't leave it just one solid color, but instead, look at how I'm mixing the colors together to create more values, more tints and shades, and just helping that object look more 3D. Once I've done that, I added a little bit of black also to really make it look like a shadow going back into the distance. Lastly, let's take a moment and cut that out. When you get your pair of scissors, go ahead and cut out all of your shapes that you've created. When you're cutting, just be careful that you don't cut too close to that vanishing point so that it falls apart. Do your best cutting, take your time, and do your very best. With a piece of black ground paper, go ahead and use the splatter paint box to get your background done. Now that you have your shape cut out, go ahead and use a glue stick or a glue bottle, add your glue to the background, and then assemble right on top of your splatter painting. I just love the way this looks when it's all assembled together. Thanks for watching. Happy art making. Make it a great day.